The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
What?
Sorry.
What? Wait, why'd you shut me down?
So then, who killed Hifumi?
Whoever did is the mastermind, the true killer.
He was killed in the repository, so he must have been killed not long after transporting Taka's body.
So, he must have been killed after Taka's body vanished, but before we found both bodies in the repository.
During that time, we'd all split up and were searching for Taka's missing body. In other words, during that time, none of us have alibis.
Wait, but me and Sakura were together. Stop trying to steal the spotlight, you stupid walrus!
Walrus, where did that one come from?
Who are you calling a walrus?
Anyway, when they were killed bothers me too. But there's something that's been bothering me even more.
Wait. Was Taco calling her a walrus because of her chest again? And because she likes swimming? Really? Taco, you jealous yandere.
And what might that be?
The weapon they used to kill Hifumi.
The weapon?
Yeah, none of the freaking hammers.
Yeah, because I mean, according to the Monokuma file, the way Taka and Hifumi were killed was almost the same, with them having similar fractures and all. But Justice Hammer 3 and 4 were still laying around in the nurse's office and equipment room, right?
Yeah.
So if Hifumi was killed in the repository, the culprit would have had to grab one of the hammers, kill Hifumi,
Nope.
then put the hammer back where they found it. But wouldn't that be seriously risky for him?
I'm surprised. It seems there's some semblance of a brain knocking around that skull of yours after all.
Hell yeah, it's packed in there good and tight.
He's right,
Maybe a little
though.
too tight.
I don't understand it either. The Monokuma file makes it clear that they were killed using similar instruments. But if the hammers were already laying around those other rooms...
Wait, they didn't kill Taco with a hammer. They drugged him too. Oh my gosh, that's what happened.
So the question is, how could the culprit have gotten their hands on either of the hammers? Personally, I haven't a clue. So which hammer was used to attack Celeste? Number 1 or number 2?
Those were accounted for in other rooms too. And I don't think either one is big enough to kill someone.
Then,
Is it not possible they used a different weapon?
Yeah, drugs from the nurse's office.
I don't think it is possible. They were both killed with the same kind of thing, right?
So
Not necessarily.
then, what was used to kill Hifumi?
Because if you think about it, the blood being on top of Taka's head is kind of odd. It should be on his face and dribbling down. It shouldn't be, like, on top of his hair. It should be underneath. And the hair doesn't necessarily get clogged with blood unless you're messing with it or it gets dripped on your head. So they put it on to make it seem like he got hit by the hammers, but none of the hammers have blood on them. So of course, that couldn't be it. And I'm ranting again. But, it would explain how Hifumi died, having that one moment where he woke up and blamed it all on Hiro, but, they drugged Taka. They, like, injected him with something once he entered the room. The weapon that was actually used to kill Hifumi. The whole picture surrounding this case won't become clear until we figure that out. Somehow I have to find the truth. Is there only one bullet timing battle between each class trial? If there's not, then I'm gonna have to do a second one on this class trial, won't I?
What was used to kill Hifumi? Was it Justice Hammer 3? Maybe Justice Hammer 4?
well, whatever it was, there's one thing we have to figure out. How was the culprit able to move around so freely with the weapon? How did nobody witness them carrying it? Sounds like a Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance! Check out murdergear.com/hammertime for more info!
What?
Well, one thing seems pretty clear. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers. And, that's about it.
The weapon used to kill Hifumi really was similar to the weapon used to kill Taka.
What?
Justice Hammer 5 is about to make its appearance!
Spotless hammer? Nope, that wasn't it. I have no idea what you're talking about, but I want to stab you seriously, adorably serious face off.
Shoot.
Okay, that was the wrong one.
Well, one thing. The murder weapon had to be one of the Justice Hammers.
There we go. Knew it was the spotless hammer. Just wrong, yellow thing.
The
What?
murder weapon wasn't a justice hammer at all. No, it was something completely different.
But, seriously? A different weapon?
Specifically, a hammer from the repository. The killer could have easily used that to kill Hifumi. Now, all the hammers in the repository were covered in flecks of grit and debris. But
Oh.
for some reason, one of them had been scrubbed clean.
And Celeste had used that to fully kill Hifumi.
Huh?
And the reason it had been scrubbed clean was most likely because it was used to commit murder. If the hammer got covered in Hifumi's blood, of course they'd have to clean it off. I'd also like to point out that the repository has all kinds of hammers. Big ones, small ones, and even some flat mallet-like ones. I think whoever made the Justice Hammers used those as a basis for their design.
If that's true, that would explain the Monokuma file's note about the wounds being
Medium
similar.
ones. We got big ones, small ones, medium ones. We have ones that are large, ones that are small, ones that are wide, the ones that are tall. I've gone into Dr. Seuss. What the heck?
So Hifumi moved Taka's body to the repository, where someone then used a hammer to kill him.
And whoever did that is the true killer. The one Hifumi was working with. And the one who betrayed him.
It was Celeste.
Hold on a moment. I still think it's strange to assume someone was working together with him. The way the graduation rule works, there is no benefit to helping someone else carry out a murder.
Because you took alter ego. I know it was
So
you.
the idea that anyone would work together like that is simply ludicrous. We talked about this, did we not?
We did talk about how there wouldn't be any reason for anyone to work together. At least that's what we thought at first, but... Broken wristwatch.
Based on the rules that have been laid out for us, even if
Big
more
ones,
than
small
one
ones, medium
person
ones.
is complicit
Kind
in
of
the
big
murder,
ones, little small ones.
only the one
wait,
who
I gotta pay
actually
attention.
carried out the act can graduate and survive. Assuming the rule holds true, it is simply impossible that two people work together on this.
That is how the rule was explained to us.
But that only really applies if there's one murder, right? In this case, however, there were two murders.
Big ones, small ones, medium ones, kind of big ones and little small ones. Somewhat big, but also small ones, hammer-like ones, less hammer-like ones. Ones that look like a face, ones that look like a butt.
That two people
Did that?
work together
Nope,
on
that wasn't
this.
it.
Shoot!
I don't understand what it wants. I know it's Celeste.
Based on the
That
rules
I know.
that have been
There were two murders.
Oh! I know what I need to do now. Okay, I got it.
Based on this, however, there were two murders.
There we go.
Holds true.
It is simply...
There we go. Two
No,
murders.
that's wrong.
Great.
Since there were two murders, it's at least plausible that more than one person was involved.
What do you mean?
If there'd only been one murder, then yes, the idea of an accomplice isn't really worth considering. Naturally, if only one person can be saved per murder, an accomplice has no risk versus reward benefit.
Risk versus reward benefit?
The payoff for working together. The reward that balances out the risk of taking part in a scheme. There's no
Yeah.
point in being someone's accomplice if there's no benefit to you.
Alter ego.
However, if there were some potential mutual reward for the risk, then cooperation becomes possible.
You're saying that two people could act as each other's accomplices to commit two separate murders.
I think that's what the true killer told Hifumi. They would each have an accomplice for their crime. And based on the case's events, Hifumi would have been the first one to act, murdering Taka. They made him carry out the first murder so he couldn't back out of helping them later on.
So in this case, there wasn't one single person committing multiple murders. Instead, each person killed someone, creating two separate incidents. And it only looked like one person because that's how the true killer designed it to look. A single suspicious individual, a similar weapon used in each crime, disappearing bodies. By creating one seamless set of circumstances, they made it look like one person was behind it all.
The mastermind picked their target and managed to convince him to go
I see
along
her.
with their plan.
I know it's you, Celeste. Don't act all innocent. I know it's you.
And then, to avoid the
Don't
no
hide behind me.
accomplices rule, they simply killed their accomplice. Which, if true, means that betraying Hifumi was part of the plan from the very beginning.
That's just awful. How could anyone be so cruel?
You think so? I can't help but admire its cunning. Still, their choice of accomplice seems odd.
Odd. The effort made to convince us the two murders were the same. That's the main characteristic this time. Kyoko must have noticed that fact from the very beginning, which is why she said not to look at this as a series of connected events, but entirely separate incidents. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Celeste. I'm almost 100%. I am 100% positive it's Celeste because she was acting really weird throughout the entire thing. She's usually mostly monotone, mostly emotionless. Like she doesn't show any emotion unless she's like really intense or finds something amusing. Even when faced with death, even when faced with corpses or anything that seems scary, but she was acting really weird. She screamed, she was acting out of character, and she also was concerned about Hifumi, which she was not concerned about at all. She was more willing to treat him as a servant. She was not at all ever concerned about freaking Hifumi. So I'm pretty sure it's Celeste. And it makes sense because Celeste could have went in and got Alter Ego from the locker because Alter Ego was only meant to alert when there was someone he didn't know, and at the same time someone that he didn't, if it was Taka or Hifumi. What if the game wants you to think that? Maybe they tricked me with Mondo because they made me think it was Bayaka. But it ended up being Mondo. Oh, and I see... Kyoko really is amazing, although, when you think about it, she's almost too amazing. Like, it's almost unnatural how good she is at this.
I understand how an accomplice could be involved, but then who was the one pulling Hifumi's strings?
I mean, it's the only thing that makes sense, because everyone else has an alibi and was with each other, and she's the only one that's unaccounted for that's still alive that was not Hiro, and Hiro was locked inside a costume and then shoved into a locker. And Hiro definitely could not have killed them.
That's problem numero uno right now.
The true killer manipulated Hifumi to carry out a number of actions, and in the end, murdered him. In the debates up till now, the way the cause has unfolded, when you consider all that, there's really only one person that seems to fit. Yeah, Celeste.
Here's my answer. It was Celeste.
Ah, so I'm the suspicious individual now, am I?
Yep.
I really do hate this kind of joke.
A joke? I wonder.
So what you are saying, then, is that I specifically chose to work together with Hifumi.
Telephone cords for hair. I was calling her goth or vampire chick, but telephone hair. Well, it also makes sense because she's like the ultimate gambler, and there's no point in gambling unless you have something to gain, which is money. And she was just waiting until Monokuma was offering money. And now Monokuma was offering $10 million. So she now has a reason why she wanted to do that.
The idea that I would choose to spend any amount of time interacting with him, that I would go within 10 feet of that shit for brains, that lazy, worthless, goddamn idiot!
Yeah, she's putting on an act right now, I can tell.
Pardonnez-moi.
Just to be clear, there is evidence to support it.
Is that so?
It is. Throughout the investigation, there was certain behavior that was common only to the two of you. Considering what we've learned so far, it only further proves that the two of you were working together.
Wasn't that only Hifumi and Celeste had in common? Screaming, the paper hidden in Hifumi's pants, encountering the suspicious individual.
I got it! The behavior they had in common has to do with the suspicious individual in the suit, doesn't it? The only ones who ever actually saw Robo-Justice firsthand were Celeste and Hifumi.
Shush. The adults are talking now.
What?
Sorry.
What? Wait, why'd you shut me down?
As he said, only Celeste and Hifumi ever laid eyes on the costumed individual. If we accept that Hifumi was one of the culprits, we can't help but suspect what Celeste has said as well.
Are you saying everything they told us was a lie?
Yeah.
After taking Hifumi to the nurse's office, we all began our search for this individual, correct?
She's so devastated. She's realizing, oh no, it's all crumbling.
And not too long after that, do you remember what Celeste said?
I saw a shadow! Something moving around at the top of the stairs.
We headed to the second floor specifically because of what she claimed to have seen. Next, to draw us all to the physics lab up on the third floor,
She let out a blood-curdling scream.
and when we'd all come to see what was wrong, what was it she said?
Celeste, what's wrong? It was a rather intense scream for someone like you. I saw him, the strange costumed man. He ran off as soon as I screamed. I was blocking the stairs, so he headed further down into the hallway and disappeared.
Once she'd done her job of getting us all up to the physics lab, it was time for her partner to get to work.
Yeah! Huh? What was that? That came from downstairs. It must have been Hifumi. He's in the nurse's office. This is bad. Come on, we have to go get him. Go back. See, she never acts like that. She never cared for Hifumi until now. This is the only time she ever cared for Hifumi. And it's all an act. It's all an act to make her seem innocent in this.
It was to get us to divide into two groups. So that we would discover both bodies at the same time?
In fact, Celeste was precisely the one who proposed that we split up.
Then why don't we split into two groups? I'll lead the hunting party. That seems much more interesting. Well then. Well, very well. Then Makoto and Hina, you come with me to the nurse's office. I will leave the capture of the suspicious individual to Toko, Bayaka, and Sakura.
Well, if Celeste and Hifumi were working together, all those chance events suddenly become connected. And on top of that piercing cry of yours early on
Was fake. Very odd character. What was that?
that was
Very
to
dramatic.
signal Hifumi, wasn't it? It was your way of telling him, we're on the third floor, everything's going according to plan. Why else would you let out a scream that could have carried across the sea?
I
Silence.
just realized another strange thing. When we found Hifumi in the nurse's office, who we now know was only pretending to be dead,
I certainly was not expecting this. I did not imagine that Hifumi would be murdered.
Celeste, you were the first one to say he'd been murdered. You wanted to make sure we wouldn't have any doubt in our minds.
I don't believe it. Everything. The whole thing was one big act.
Hina, you were with Celeste when Hifumi's body disappeared, right?
Yeah. I was feeling kinda sick, so Celeste took me to the bathroom. Wait! Then that was...
A distraction.
She wasn't worried about you. She just saw a chance to help Hifumi sneak out of the nurse's office.
Each piece isn't much by itself, but start putting them together and the picture gets very ugly indeed.
And its name is Celeste.
Wouldn't you agree, Celeste?
Exact. I need to stop saying that.
I have no idea what you mean.
Okay, Miss Gothica.
Don't bother trying to deny it.
There's so many names you can give that girl. What the heck? Maid, telephone.
You made one fatal mistake.
Oh, did I?
I didn't even catch it myself when you first said it, but looking back, I can say that that one little slip-up was your undoing.
I just want one of Makoto's thought dialogue to be something that... Wait, did I leave my oven on? No, right. But I feel like I did. No, I couldn't have. That would be funny. He just suddenly was like, wait, is the oven on? All of a sudden, while in the middle of a class trial, he's like, wait a second, did I leave the oven on? Is my house on fire? Wait, is the sink running? Wait, no, the bathtub. I was trying to take a bath and then I realized I was late for school. Oh no! That would be funny.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about what you said after Hifumi's body disappeared and we returned to the nurse's office.
They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. We're all going to die here. We're going to die, just like those guys died.
I remember her saying that too, but I don't understand what's so strange about it.
What? Hello? You left a while ago. I was in the middle of the class trial.
Sakura, Toko, and I were first to discover Taka's body in the equipment room. Then Makoto showed up and told us Hifumi had been killed. So Sakura and I left with Makoto. Once we were in the hall, we ran into Celeste, and the four of us headed to the nurse's office. Now, the entire time we were together, none of us said anything about Taka being dead.
Oh yeah. I bad at Twitch.
Think about it. Celeste's comment doesn't make sense. It was completely out of place.
Yeah, I see what you're talking about. Although I don't really get what it means.
You hear that, Celeste? Everyone's having some trouble understanding. Could you repeat what you said? If you're really not the culprit, you shouldn't have any problem repeating it, right?
Like you did. Oh, I pronounced it right? I bad at Twitch? Bayaka said Celeste's comment doesn't make sense, but is he alluding to... E-handbook, Monokuma file number 3, Celeste account.
All I said was... They must really be enjoying this. Enjoying the sight of us standing around, frightened and confused. They must be positively elated. We are all going to die here. We are going to die, just like those guys died.
Wait, that's not wrong? Meaningless words tire me. Please stop. Oh, I did it wrong. Whoops. Wrong thing. I need to listen to the entire thing first, right?
And that is all I said.
And that's all it takes to finish this. It's obvious, isn't it? What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Wait, that wasn't it? When Celeste said that what she did, she shouldn't have known yet. With that in mind, what's so strange about what she said is...
All going to die. We are going to die.
Just like those guys died.
Oh, that didn't do it. Maybe it is the handbook.
Going to die.
Just like those guys died.
Oh, that wasn't it.
And that's all it takes to finish. What was so
strange about Celeste's comment?
Ah! Okay, that wasn't it. Don't expect me to do the work for you. Figure out... Da-da-da! And I'm dead. I'm dead.
Going to die here. We are going to die.
Just like those guys
died.
What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
No, it wasn't those guys.
Takes. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
Nope, that wasn't it.
What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
E-handbooks. No, it wasn't.
That's all it takes to finish. What was so strange about Celeste's comment?
There we go. So strange.
We are going to die.
Just like those.
There we go. Haha, thank you. It's the same thing for like the past 3-4 ones I had to do. Thank you.
That's right. There's no reason Celeste should have said, just like those guys died. When she said that, none of us had told her Taka was dead.
Yeah.
Exactly. And we didn't run into her until after we were all out in the hall.
She knows she got caught. She's trying to play it cool.
So there was never any chance for her to have seen his body in the equipment room for herself.
So how did you know, Celeste? How did you know more than one person had been killed? And how did you know they were both guys? Because Kyoko had also disappeared, right? So she could have been dead too.
Yeah, how'd you know it wasn't Kyoko that was dead?
You all have such vivid imaginations. You know that?
Oh, you're trying to do a bluff.
Imaginations.
You claim that I was lying when I told you about the suspicious person I saw. Then what about the picture I took?
What about the picture I took?
How do you explain this picture of the costumed villain dragging Hifumi away?
He's leaning against the wall and he's not even gripping Hifumi. Hifumi's holding on to him. In all fairness, guys is a gender-neutral term. Yeah, it is. It definitely is. At this point, dude and man is a gender-neutral term for me too, because I call everyone bro, dude, man. I insulted a girl in elementary school when I called her a dude.
It has to be some kind of setup, right? So let's put the suit on, and then she used the camera's timer to set up the picture.
Have you so quickly forgotten? You are the only one who could have possibly fit into that suit.
Oh, she's trying
Plus,
to...
I happen to know that this particular camera does not have a timer. In other words, it is an unassailable fact that this is a picture of Hifumi being dragged away.
He's leaning against the
If
wall.
everything I told you was a lie, how can this picture exist?
Simple. Are we sure that's really a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away?
What could you possibly mean by that?
Surely there are other explanations than the one you've offered up.
Yeah, Hifumi is holding up Hiro.
No, there is no other explanation.
Yes, there is. Other explanations. If it wasn't a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away, the only other possibility is Hifumi and the suspect are dancing. Hifumi is dragging the suspect away. Hifumi and the suspect have been drinking?
I got it!
Dragged the suspect away.
It's not a picture of the suspect dragging Hifumi away. I would say it's a picture of Hifumi dragging the suspect away.
That's certainly within the realm of possibility. The one being dragged off in that picture isn't Hifumi, but the person in the robot suit. We've simply been led to believe that it's the other way around.
Yep, it wasn't the ripoff Transformer.
And the strange costume might only exist to lead us astray even farther. If you saw someone wearing something like that in this situation, of course you'd notice and be suspicious.
That's what happened! You put me to sleep and made me out to be the bad guy in all this!
Why are you laughing now?
Such a thing
Man, she's doubling down.
is utterly impossible. Hifumi was dragging him away? Ridiculous.
Is it? I don't think it's ridiculous at all.
Then shut your mouth and allow me to educate you.
Celeste thinks she can prove that there's no way Hifumi was dragging the suspect away. But is that really possible? Hero is a sweetheart, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, Weed Man is honestly too innocent to actually kill anybody for anything. Robot Justice costume, I need the blueprints. Give me the
dressed me up
blueprints.
in that suit after I passed out!
There we go.
Then you just draped me across Hifumi and had him carry my weight! You tried to make me look like the bad guy!
Like I said, ridiculous. As you can see in the picture, the suspect is standing perfectly upright. If the person inside the suit was unconscious, There's no way they could stand up straight like that.
Then the fortune-telling idiot is the culprit after all!
No way!
Alright, I need to speed up. I know what it is now.
No way they could stand up straight like that.
There you go. Nope. What? Wasn't that one?
The person inside the suit was uncaught. There's no way they could stand
Beep,
up
beep, beep,
straight
beep, beep.
like that.
Why was my mouse in the corner? What was that? Why was it down in the corner? I think my hand drifted.
No. Even if the person inside the suit were unconscious, they could still stand up like that. Because that Robo-Justice suit had a certain characteristic.
You totally can't bend at the waist. Seems like a pretty obvious oversight.
That's right! They totally made a mistake when they made it, so it couldn't bend at the waist.
I'm not so sure that was a mistake. I think the suit was designed from the beginning to be used the way it was.
Oh no! She finally dropped her poker face. Wait, why did I say oh no? I mean yay!
Celeste and Hifumi took the suit they'd specially designed and stuffed Hiro into it. That's how they were able to fake that whole thing. The point of it all was to make us believe whoever was in the suit was to blame.
Well then, I suppose this is checkmate.
Checkmate?